on, or we can special order or custom create the perfect engagement ring for you. Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset in Lexington, or in the Village at Sandhills. Traditions Fine Jewelers, where the Midlands get engaged.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Clark. Garnet Trust is hoping to build the best and most sustainable NIL program in the country. To find out how you can get involved, go on over to garnettrust.com. You can support Gamecock athletes there, get access to exclusive content, and help Garnet Trust build the best NIL program in the country.
Hi, Jen here. Did you know you could earn up to 4.59% annual percentage yield with All South Federal Credit Union's premium checking account? That's 30 times more than the national average interest checking rate, which means more money in your bank account each month. Plus, they have 23 locations right here in the Midlands. Open an account online at allsouth.org or visit an All South location today to start earning more. All South is federally insured by the NCUA.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
It's one thing falling in love with a house, picturing yourself moving in and calling it home, and quite another navigating the world of price negotiating, mortgage lenders, and finding the budget that works best for you. An agent who's a realtor can make understanding that world easier. Realtors have the expertise, access to proprietary data, and tools to help you get from imagining living somewhere to actually doing it. That's the kind of help we can provide. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Oh, I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
And out there on the highways this morning in downtown Columbia, Hardin Street, both north and southbound between Rosewood and Divine, that is closed for some repairs. So road construction going on. Again, that's Hardin Street, both north and southbound between Rosewood and Divine Street. That is closed. So you'll have to find a workaround for that area. And your forecast, really no workarounds for that. 90 for the high today, 87 tomorrow, 84 on Wednesday and Thursday, and really Friday as well. Beautiful weather on the way this week. Right now, starting off your morning on with fair skies, full moon, and 72.
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen on The Game Network. 107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
.15 here on your Monday morning, August the 19th, as we get you up, get you moving. As I told my kids yesterday, this is the official start of the school season because you had your trial week last week where you had to get up for 5 straight days. You got to know it's your free trial of your 2024-2025 academic calendar year. Today starts the real thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, the real thing starts here, and all the kids that are in class that have been hiding, trying to be good for a week, the real them is going to come out this week. We're going to figure out who's who. Little Billy's been nice over in there in the corner. This is the week he forgets that he was supposed to be turning it around this year.
A lot of those things go out the window.
This is when
right?
he turns back into whoever he was.
This is a lot of parents here as we get up at 6:19 or 6:16 is about to have to go back up, yell at the kids. Last week kids were excited to get up.
Yeah, there's a little buzz like who's in my class. What teacher do I have? What I'm in a different wing of the school or something. It's all back to basics now this week.
Yeah. The newness is worn off. All the new school clothes have been worn. Yeah, now
That new car smell is worn off.
Yeah.
New cars, Preston, all good from getting the new car.
The car, it did see its way off, and I have a video I will send to the group chat. It did, we saluted it as it went on down the road. It was a pretty painless process.
Okay, good job. All right.
It's done, though.
There you go. So, 803-404-6100. Good luck to all those administrators, teachers, parents, and students who are really now starting the school year with the first, what you'd call, even though last week was the full week, first true week, because you said the real you shows up. If you're a grouchy teacher,
yes, it's also for all the little cool stuff you had for the first week. Now we're back to this is how we do it.
Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. A guy who always is the same. Gamecock Larry wants to weigh in. Gamecock Larry, how you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling pretty good. 12 days before kickoff. Good morning, Jen, Bill, and Preston. First, I want to put out a shout out to my motocross and drag racing team, which is gearing up, getting ready for a big one in Atlanta this weekend, I think. But I'm going to tell you, Uncle Jim and CW got them young men, Gamecock Lucas, Gamecock Wesley, Gamecock Jace, and motocross. They got them young men riled up, then they working I think CW is working about 7 days a week. Better slow down, CW. Sunday, is supposed to be the day off. The Lord's Day is on Sunday. You ain't supposed to be working. But let me tell you, now let's talk a little bit of trash. Root Hall. I seen something in the paper, Root Hall, where Gilbert America has got a new coach. Gilbert America is moving up to 4A. Gilbert America is going to be lucky to win 4 games this year. Ooh. Now let me talk a little bit of trash to them college people. Bulldog Bert, if you lost the number, call the station general and give it to me. I'm waiting for you to call me. I ain't got my call yet. Bulldog Bert up there in Georgia. Well, I tell you, I hate to say it, but I don't like Georgia. Well, I don't hate to say it. I don't like Georgia. I don't like Clemson. But I'm afraid Georgia might lay it on them. But Bulldog Bert, the bad news is Georgia is going to lose 2 games this year, at least 2. Now, Clemson Sean, over there on Clemson side, old Dabo, he ain't taking no transfers. He ain't doing this. He ain't doing that. He's going to win about 9. And then next year, he's going to go on down and win about a few. And then 2026, he's going to Alabama. So the boy ain't going to do good in Alabama because he came from Washington, I think. And we played different football in the South. Whatever your name is. Remember Harson from Boston State? Went to Auburn, lasted a year and a half. Well, 2 years, and they run him out. Well, he got fired because he couldn't win. Couldn't play with the Southern boys. And that's about all. I'm feeling good. Trash talking time has started. Clemson, did I call Clemson Sound out? Clemson Sound, I ain't heard from you in over a year. You sitting back there, but boy, I'm fired up. All I got to do is sit back here in my recliner 24 hours a day, wait for my feet to heal up, but I'm going to talk trash. I love all y'all. And Jen, you keep them 2 men there, young men there with you.
Yes, sir.
You got them on the straight side. You got them. You keep them straight. As long as we got Jen and Mr. A, we got a winner. Go Gamecocks. Love all y'all. I'm telling you, I'm feeling good like a old Gamecock should. Go Gamecocks. Talk to you later.
Unfortunate that some high school kids there had to take the brunt of Gamecock Larry's trash talking.
Put it on the bulletin board. Gilbert America, put it on the bulletin board. Gamecock Larry says you're only going to win 4 games. If that don't get you fired up, nothing will.
A tad ultra aggressive.
There's haters everywhere.
Yeah, but no, we have that, so there you go.
Kalen DeBoer, put it on the board.
Yeah, that was a bad take on his part. That was, look, I said it last year. I've kind of led the bandwagon on this. I think Kalen DeBoer might have been last year the best coach in America, the best football coach. I think it's going to be done differently at Alabama. The question will be is how he handles the scrutiny, how he handles losing a game and then having to go down to the local Rammer Jammer or wherever, get a burger, and having some eggs thrown at him. Because you don't lose football in Alabama. And I think he might lose 1 or 2 here or there. They got that big game with Georgia on September 28th. Who knows? I mean, look, King Kirby, as our Roll Tide buddy Todd likes to call him. Totally understandable. These are all very, very difficult decisions for SEC coaches to make on where they go after the game. Gus Malzahn had it down cold. He'd just go hit the Waffle House.
That was his move.
Yeah.
That was his move. Yeah, I saw Kalen DeBoer. I mean, good luck for him this year with trying to step into fill the shoes of the king. I did see somewhere on a TikTok rabbit hole that I was in that has to deal with coach's office decor, that he's remodeled Nick Saban's office. Gotta say, don't like his remodeling job.
But did he keep the door where he can hit the button and the door closes?
He did have to keep that.
You got to keep that.
He went for a more modern aesthetic, a more modern, clean aesthetic. Nick had a bunch of old wood. It looked like an old library. Nick's was a little bit more comfy and cozy. Don't like Kalen's, but we'll see.
Have to check that out. 803-404-6100. This past weekend, South Carolina holds scrimmage number 2, or the final scrimmage of the so-called preseason camp. Now they go into prep for Old Dominion. This is Shane Beamer talking Saturday afternoon. He got into a little bit of the difference in the offense that he saw since the previous scrimmage. Here's what Shane Beamer had to say.
Not really. I think maybe just more familiarity, and don't get me wrong, I mean, there were things last week that we needed to be better at. There were things this week that we need to be better at. Probably just an overall understanding of everything. I mean, when we came back, we kind of threw everything at them last week, and it wasn't like we added a lot of new stuff this week. We did situational stuff. You know, Sunday we went out and we did backed up. So you're the offense and the ball's on the 2-yard line and you've got to get it out, and you're on the road and the crowd's going crazy. We did that scenario. And then between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we worked overtime. We worked into the game where we have the lead offensively and you're trying to run the clock out. We call it 4-minute. Defense is trying to get the ball back. We worked a lot of 2 minutes. So we worked a lot of situational things this week in practice. So we weren't adding a lot of new things. So from last week to this week, there should be a better understanding of what we're doing schematically because there wasn't a lot of new stuff. So if anything, I would just say that.
So didn't add a whole lot of new stuff. Now, I will just say what I was told, what I heard, I was not there, is that this scrimmage was a little more focused on the pass game. So if you were there, maybe you can vouch for that. I know that they had it open to, I think, some Gamecock Club members, but that this scrimmage was designed a little bit differently in terms of what they might actually do. I want to say I heard the number of somewhere around it was 75, 25, 75% pass, 25% run. Rocket Sanders did get some work this weekend, but it was more of a who can step up at wide receiver and be that person, and how well does Lenoris understand the route trees and all the handsy football passing concepts that Dow Loggins wants to employ.
Oh, that sounds like an absolute dream to a defensive lineman. Like, all we're doing is passing today?
Yeah.
This sounds great. You mean I don't have to worry about any double teams or any scoops or powers? All I got to do is get off the ball and rush the quarterback. I'm going to have a ball today.
Yeah.
It sounds I bet TJ Sanders really enjoyed that scrimmage. He's like, this is my day.
Again, talking with the insiders, talking with others, it did sound like the offensive line had a little bit of a tough day, but that makes sense. If you're the defensive line and you know, which I'm guessing you kind of have an idea, or you figure it out pretty early, like, they're throwing a lot today. All right, let's just line it up and go attack the quarterback, attack this offensive lineman. But it was my understanding in talking with people that Saturday scrimmage was a little more tailored to, all right, we know what we got at the running back position. What do we have at the wide receiver position? Let's throw the ball around a lot, see who can make catches, who can run the proper routes. Let's see if Lenoris is ready for this. And And Preston, I don't know if you had scrimmages like that occurred during your time with Lou Holtz where they were more tailored to, say, a specific set of the offense or a specific set of the defense.
Yeah, you would always want to, as Shane alluded to, you want to put your team in situations, you want to practice those situations routinely, and so that you can get used to being in those types of places. So this might be more of a passing game scrimmage, or this might be more of a short yardage scrimmage and things like that. Yeah, teams will do that all the time. You've seen teams do third down scrimmages, special team scrimmages, all of these ways that you can try and prepare yourself to get ready for what the first week will present.
Shane Beamer talked a little bit about that, the versatility in the offense, run, pass, players in particular. Here's what he had to say, again, post-scrimmage in terms of the versatility that he has right now in the offense.
I feel good. Are we where we need to be? No. Do we have a first-round draft pick out there and an NFL quarterback like we did last year with Spencer and Zay? No, but we're going to be good enough. I think those receivers continue to get better. I mean, you think about it, two of the top receivers that we're counting on this year, Nick Harbor and Dale Von Campbell and Vandrevius Jacobs, and none of those three were even here during spring practice. So this is literally their 14th practice as a Gamecock in 2024, or Gamecock ever if you're the two transfers, and we're counting on those guys. So they're continuing to get more and more comfortable with our quarterbacks. They continue to flash and make plays. They've had some really good moments in practice this week, those three in particular, but all of our guys, Gage, Peyton Mangrum caught a ball today and had a long touchdown run after catching a pass. I mean, he's a guy that we have a lot of confidence and faith in. So we'll be fine at receiver, and then you add the tight end element to it as well that can help us in the passing game. So I feel good. Don't feel great, but you never feel great. It's always a work in progress.
Interesting how he described those wide receivers. Skipped over a couple guys that I thought he might go to and went to Dale Von Campbell, to Vandrevius Jacobs, and Nick Harbor. Was like, yeah, those guys we're counting on. And I thought, what about, say, a Tyshawn Russell, a Jared Brown, a Gage Larvindane, some of the guys like that? And he kind of went back and mentioned a few. But that wide receiver room is wide open, Preston.
Yeah, I mean, it's a literal open competition for spots. I mean, different players seem to be edging themselves towards getting those spots, but eventually there's going to be 6 guys that are playing. No matter how much depth you have, no matter how many guys you can rattle off or how many dudes you have confidence in, there's the difference between having confidence in somebody and who's going to actually go out there and take the snaps. And that's why after the second week, you'll start to see those separations start to happen, and then we'll have some depth charts coming out here soon where we can see where your real confidence is. It's enough to say you had confidence. I need to know that I'm going out with the 1s or 2s. Don't be confident in me when I'm in the 4th string. Like, we have a lot of confidence in Preston. We're just going to put you back here. I need to be confident on the 1st and 2nd string.
The old depth charts.
It's coming.
We're not far away from that. I feel like we've heard a little less of that this year as opposed to last year. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in anything you heard there. We'll continue down that path, talk a little bit more about the scrimmage and some scrimmage notes from Preston Thorne as well, plus some more audio. You're listening to the early game.
Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
It's back.
Starting Monday, July 29th, the ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway from The Game, sponsored by the Men's Clinic.
Seller's going to take it himself. Look at the young man throw, and there it goes. There's the speed, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina.
One lucky fan will snag season tickets to every South Carolina football, baseball, men's and women's hoops games. At home, all you'll have to do is go to 1075thegame.com and register.
We'll announce the winner at our Summer Golf Classic at Charwood.
The ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway 2.0, sponsored by the Men's Clinic from The Game.
Field gunner for the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder, and First Palmetto Bank. First Palmetto Bank, locally owned and operated right here in the Millings. And that means if you're working with Jacob and First Palmetto Bank, you have quick and precise underwriting because they have local decision makers ready to get you the answers you need, help you find the interest rates or the programs that fit your needs the best. And I'll give you an example of one of those. If you live in Richland County or if you're looking to purchase in Richland County, right now you can check into the Community Reinvestment Process product. That's right, Blythewood, Northeast, Southeast, and the I-20 corridor are areas they are offering a 4.99% interest with a 5.075 APR on a 30-year fixed mortgage. That's a lot of information, so to get more of it, call the Mortgage Guru today, 803-719-1005. Again, that's 803-719-1005. Contact the Mortgage Guru, Jacob Crowder, today. Tell him Bill Gunner sent you.
Sponsored by Metz Plumbing.
If you got a problem, you just won't quit. And you need a plumber, you can call 732-TRIP. Metz Plumbing, 732-TRIP.
MetzPlumbing.com.
It's the Love Chevrolet countdown to Gamecock football.
12 days till kickoff.
While others take full advantage of the market with ridiculous add-on stickers, Love never sells above MSRP. Come experience the difference at Love Chevy, your trusted family-owned dealership since 1961. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm with Jason Reynolds of the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm. Jason, what makes your firm different?
I think the way we present ourselves and treat our clients makes us different. We don't show injured workers, horrible vehicle accidents, or stacks of cash in our advertising. That's because injuries really affect people's lives, and we take that seriously. Our clients come to us in their toughest times, and we're truly committed to helping them in every way possible.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Honey, would you take a seat? I have a confession to make.
What is it? What's wrong?
Well, I was out driving today and I saw some hookers on the side of the road. A bunch of huge, professional, beautiful-looking hookers. So I did what I was supposed to do. I slowed down and I moved over.
You slowed down for the hookers?
Well, yeah, it's the law. There was a whole fleet of Schroeder's towing trucks assisting with an accident. Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Schroeder's Towing reminds you to slow down and move over for all first responders.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 1 pallet or more of select shingles. Plus, save 10% when you buy 68 or more select OSB sheathing. And if you find a lower price in-store or online, we'll match it. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
This year, Dell Technologies' Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hosteller-Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit lawyerlisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Daddy, you need a trust.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
We have a report of a tie-up Screaming Eagle Road at Spring Creek Road. Also, we do have a shutdown there, Hardin Street, both north and southbound, after Rosewood Drive and before Divine Street. So caution in those areas. Doing some repairs there, so they'll be getting that all fixed up, but that is going to cause a slowdown today. That's Hardin after Rosewood Drive, but before Divine Street. Forecast looking great for the week and does not really feel like mid-August. 90 today, 87 tomorrow, and then basically the mid-80s for the remainder of the week with sunny skies. So it's going to be beautiful out, and it's starting out great today, 72 on the early game.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet
on the Game Network.
6:36 on an August the 19th. Again, I want to remind you about our 107.5 The Game golf tournament taking place out at Charwood this coming Friday, which means you need to go ahead and put in your day off, contact the boss, and go ahead and get registered to come and join us this coming Friday. Shotgun start. We'll have a mimosa bar sponsored by Saki's Wine and Spirits that we'll be enjoying pre-golf tournament, talking a little college football, both Gamecocks, both Tigers, as well as Florida State and Georgia Tech this coming weekend. But call out to Charwood today, 803-755-2000. Again, it's 803-755-2000 is how you can call out there and get registered today. You need to go ahead and do that. Speaking of which, Jen, I believe today, if I'm understanding correctly, we will name the finalist for the Ultimate Season Ticket giveaway.
We are going to do that
in about an hour, yes. So if you have signed up for the Ultimate Season Ticket giveaway at about this time in the next hour, we will be announcing the 3 finalists that Jen will be pulling. I understand we've got all the names ready.
I do. I probably already have a paper cut because I've been kind of mixing them around. So, that doesn't feel so great. But all for the cause.
Yeah, excellent work. Sometimes, Preston, you have to be willing to deal with the injuries. It's a violent game out there, pulling the names.
It is.
Yeah, it's just part of it. But so get registered for the golf tournament. Again, 803-755-2000. That's how you can call out to Charwood today and get registered. And coming up in about an hour from now, if you have signed up for the Ultimate Season Ticket giveaway, all home games for South Carolina football, for men's basketball, for women's basketball, for baseball, we will announce the 3 finalists. And if you are one of the 3 finalists, then we will have to have you out at the 107.5 The Game golf tournament this coming Friday. I don't have a time on that this morning, but I guess about 8:30 on Friday.
Yeah, basically, we're saying 8:30, maybe 3 p.m.
After the tournament, either before the tournament or after.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated on that. 803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in if you want to do so this morning. Again, more from the weekend, Preston Thorne, as Shane Beamer meeting with the media after a scrimmage that we'll get into a little bit more with Jamie Bradford coming up in the next hour, but a scrimmage that featured no injuries, featured a pretty good day for the offense, for the defense. But this is Shane Beamer talking about big jumps that he took from the scrimmage. Here's what Shane Beamer had to say.
Not really. Like I said, I was pleased with the way we kicked the ball for the most part. I know I said last week that Kai was putting the crap out of the ball, and he continues to. And then Alex is doing a nice job, or did a nice job. And then William Joyce, I believe, got in there and kicked some. Mason Love got in there and kicked some. So I feel like we've gotten better there. And we really wanted to come in today, Alan, and be able to throw and catch a little bit. Coming into today, if you say, okay, we kind of know who our top couple running backs are, let's get these other guys some carries and see what they can do. And then we said, let's really kind of figure out what our receivers can do. So let's throw and catch the ball a little bit more than maybe we did last week. And thought some receivers flashed today and did some good things. And overall, and I told the team this last night, we got better as a team this week. There's no question in my mind from last Saturday when I talked to you guys after this preseason game to today. We really got better in practice this week and feel like everybody made strides and still have a long ways to go, don't get me wrong, but like the progress that we made this week.
What'd you take from that?
Yeah, Shane, that's all well and good, but let me tell you this. This is what we really need to hear. Number one, there were no injuries. Thank you. We appreciate that.
That's the big part.
Number one, that's the biggest thing. 2, Rocket Sanders did play, was tackled, and did not get injured from that. And number 3, the defense still is on top of the offense, and that's what I wanted to hear. I know all that other stuff was great. I understand we got better from week to week, and I understand you were being measured after the contest and everything was cool. I don't care about any of that. No injuries, Rocket Sanders, and 3, that the defense is still performing. Now, he did mention that the defense let up a couple of long third downs. Not great, but it happens. I still do not want to hear at any point throughout this preseason that the offense is getting better than the defense. At no point, because this team is going to be based on the defense. The team is going to be structured around the defense, and so the defense should dominate the offense throughout this whole preseason.
That's the point. The defense is talking historical, donuts. They're talking all this stuff right now, and I'm with you on that. If that defense is to just start to live up to where they want to be, we should be hearing, especially with an offense that lost its top receiver, obviously lost quarterback, lost actually its top running back, if you want to be honest. I know Rocket Sanders, if you were to do a draft, most would take Rocket Sanders over Mario Anderson. But still, this is a situation where, you look at it and you're like, all right, live up to who you say you are. Defense. Offense, if you have some struggles. I wondered about this. I did ask, and you get varying degrees of, they're great, and we'll see. At SEC Media Days, there was a lot of people who were all on the bandwagon of South Carolina's defensive line in particular being top 5 in the league. And whether they're going to be true
Phil
or
Steele.
Huh?
Phil Steele.
Yeah, and I think it was Phil Steele. Also, you gave some of those rundowns. I want to say the linebacking group was like 20th, somewhere in there. And so you're right. It's one of those things where if the offense is moving up and down on the historical defense, you go, boy, I don't think people know what they're talking about. Or, boy, that offense is going to be lights out. This very well could be one of the better defenses they actually face.
That's what you want to hear. You want to hear them go into the season and say, man, we haven't faced a better defense than the one that we face every day during practice. And that only gets them better for the season as they progress. So I'm cool with hearing that the offense is coming along. They're making plays. They're having some mistakes. I'm fine with all of that. What I do not want to hear at any point during the preseason, and I guess that might have been the last real opportunity for them to go ones versus ones, I would say, is for the offense to be moving ahead of the defense. So as long as the defense is still out there giving the offense trouble, I'm fine with it.
803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in if you want to do so this morning. Again, coming up in about 45 minutes, a little over 45 minutes, we're going to draw our 3 finalists for the 107.5 The Game Ultimate Season Ticket Giveaway, where you've had the chance to go and register. We'll do that because coming up on Friday, we'll talk more about that defense and everything, Preston, because at that point, I feel like you're the hay's in the barn, right? Like, this is kind of your final week to adjust to anything that you had from the scrimmage.
No, there's still time.
Really? Going to next week?
Yeah, there's still time. You're going to get better all the way up until you start to end up playing. There are things that you can end up correcting. So you're using all your time. There's still plenty of time to get better at some things.
Okay.
That's why we're still practicing.
There you go. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It is the early game.
Hey guys, it's Preston Thorne for your broker, my broker, Benji Getzy at Buford Lending. Buford Lending is a true mortgage broker offering the widest variety of government mortgage programs and the best mortgage experience for clients through its state-of-the-art technology and record low interest rates. Their goal is to make your next mortgage experience and closing easier, cheaper, faster, and friendlier. Since 1997, Benji and his team have served thousands of investors with their dreams of real estate investing, and they specialize in DSCR loans and fix and flip financing. Benji and his team are VA, FHA, and USDA government loan experts, and they offer competitive jumbo financing as well as conventional and construction lending. So Benji has helped over 8,000 families in achieve their dream of home ownership. So shop your rate today with Buford Lending. We want to be your broker at 843-524-2404. That's 843-524-2404.
one of the fun things we do, Preston likes to set up the show every morning or the night before and then during the morning and have just some things that both of us that we want to talk about. One of the things that popped up is, have you ever known you were going to how did you phrase this? Have you ever known you were going to lose before?
Have you ever lost a game before you played the game?
Yeah.
Have you ever lost a game before you played the game? Because I know we all like to hear about the winning and the championships and the heart of fire and desire and all that. But I'm more interested in the more universal experience of losing, because not everybody's won, but we've all lost. And Manti Te'o had a clip where he talked about that experience of being in the national championship game and thinking that he's going to lose. Jen, can you hit the clip for us?
You remember this. We are playing at the Hard Rock Cafe Stadium, Miami Dolphins Stadium. And for people that don't know anything about that stadium, there's only one tunnel. So both teams come out of the tunnel. We were the #1 ranked team in the country that year, so we're the home team. We came out of our locker room first. Alabama hadn't come out of their locker room yet. So everybody stopped us at the tunnel and said, hey, you have to wait. You have to wait until Alabama comes out.
Wow.
So I'm one of the captains. I'm in front of all my guys. Alabama hasn't come out yet. My guys are hyped. They're loud. They're doing their thing, right? And when I'm in game day mode, I see things, but I don't. I'm kind of just in my own little zone. Alabama's locker room door opens, and they start running out, right? And they're going out, and I do remember this very vividly. My soon-to-be teammate, DJ Fluker, and Chance Warmack come running out of the locker room with their jerseys
tucked underneath.
No, it's up. Their big bellies are out.
Oh.
And they have their fours up. And I remember DJ going by and saying, womp, 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 womp. And I remember vividly remembering the silence behind me. And I kind of glanced back at my teammates, and the eyes on them were so large, I knew at that time, I was like, all right, this is going to be a long day.
Oh, no.
To my guys' credit, they never flinched. But let me tell you guys, when we played the Alabama team in 2013, there was a difference. There was a difference with those Bama boys.
So this is what I want to know. When Chance Warmack comes by and he goes, womp, womp, and you are the #1 team in the nation, you look around at your teammates and you say, I don't think we're supposed to be here. I don't know if this is the day. So I want to know, anybody, 803-404-6100, at what points in your athletic career have you ever had the moment where you felt like this might be a long day? I've told the story before. I believe it was junior year in high school playing baseball, playing the HIT tournament in spring break. We played a team, Miami Senior High. They beat us 24-2.
Oh no.
And it was immediate. They had a lot of bilingual players on their team, and they were speaking languages that we didn't know. And there was just a lot of commotion. And you could just see the way they were taking infield, how this ball was snapping from one side to the other. And they were speaking Spanish, and it was like, so. And our infield was very clumsy. I mean, it was just a regular old varsity infield. We knew we weren't going to be there very long. And they disproved us very quickly. So that was one of my instances of saying, like, oh, we don't have a chance against this team. I want to know people's times when they did not, when you lined up, you showed up, and you figured out that you didn't have the chance. Now, Manti Te'o was in the national championship game. Yours might have been in travel ball when you were 12 years old. It might have been at church league.
Mine's very clear, and there might be a lot of people who remember this, actually. In 1999 at Lexington High School, we went to the state championship game in basketball against Lower Richland. And I remember it extremely, extremely well. Coach Harris, and I hope I don't offend him with this, had brought in former college players and people that were, 6'8", 6'7", 6'9", 6'10" for us to deal with. Rohow and Todd Williams. I can't remember who he brought in to look, none of us on this, what I would label as the shirts team. We had the blue jerseys, the white jerseys. I was third string. I didn't even get to wear a jersey in scrimmages. I had to go with the shirts as the third group. None of us could be Ed Scott. So Coach Harris is bringing, I'll never forget, that was the 1 week leading up to that championship game on Friday night. I didn't even practice. I wasn't even, because I couldn't simulate anything that we were going to face. But credit to Coach Harris. He had us believing. He had us all believing. Matter of fact, we watched Hoosiers before the game. But I'll never forget listening to a local radio station go into school, and they're like making fun of us. And we were all fired up. I mean, we're like, we're going to show these people. We had scrimmaged LR in the preseason, but it had been in an empty gym. You had the thing where you have the first quarter scrimmage, you had the second quarter, but then by then the third quarter is like the complete backup. It's like a preseason game. Yeah, we get into Frank McGuire Arena. Lower Richland runs out, and nobody told us they were going to bring the entire Diamond Mine, and Lexington was fully represented. The first quarter was an absolute disaster. Ed Scott scored the first 9 points on us. Rose dunking on us. We're down 9-0. Then they call a timeout, and I'll never forget being in the back of the huddle, and the whole Diamond Mine is in Frank McGuire Arena chanting, "Stand up for the Diamonds." Everyone stand up. I thought, we got to play 3 more quarters? Oh, the towel. We'll talk more about that. Jamie Bradford, hour 2. Bill Gunner for Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, where right now, you know what, you're celebrating back to school. Love Chevrolet is celebrating back to cool. That's right. Because of all the incredible deals that are taking place over there, you can find that next car, truck, or SUV that you have been looking for. And at Love Chevrolet, now is the time. There are brand new Tahoe Suburbans, the totally redesigned Chevrolet Traverse that has a bold exterior design, turbocharged V6, best-in-class cargo area, plenty of space for the team and the tailgate. For more information on this, go visit that incredible sales staff at Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, where every day is game day at Love Chevrolet. That's what makes them the #1 volume Chevy dealer here in the state. So get out to Love Chevrolet today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you, and together, let's drive.
Taking a look at those traffic conditions out there this morning, if the computer would cooperate. There we go. All right. I-26 eastbound. On exit 91, there's a report of an object in the roadway, so just be extra cautious as you're heading through there. I-26 eastbound, exit 91. Also an accident, Screaming Eagle Road at Spring Creek Road. And also there's some road construction happening Hardin Street after Rosewood and before Divine Street So that is closed again for some road construction there. 90 for the high today, 87 tomorrow, and we stay in the mid-80s for the rest of the week.
$7 a.m. on a Monday morning, August the 19th. I'm going to throw this plan at you and Jamie Bradford here in a minute. My 24-hour college football marathon that I think is what ESPN should be doing to lead us in. If we're going to do, I'm not a week zero, I could care less, but if we're going to do it properly, it's time for ESPN to step up and knock one out of the ballpark with our love and affinity for college football. So I'm going to throw it to you, and I'm going to put it to you and Jamie Bradford. Do I have an idea here, or do I need to just go sit in a corner and stop coming up with ideas? Jamie Bradford, welcome in this morning as we've been talking the South Carolina football scrimmage here coming off of now what was, I guess, the official end, Preston, of preseason camp. That's the end. Now you're like, all right, now we go into the regular practices.
I guess they're moving towards that model. Yeah, I would say in my mind you would have one more week until game week, but I guess we're ending camp season. But before we get started, Jamie, we talking about this last segment. We talked about showing up to a game and knowing that your team was going to have a long day before the game started. I talked about 1999 hit tournament playing Miami Senior High School when we got beat 24-2, and I could just tell by the way they were taking infield that we had no chance in Somerville. Do you have any type of experiences like that?
Dude, I was at that game.
What?
I remember that game.
For real?
Yep, they were loaded. They were loaded. I remember that game. Now that you said that, I haven't thought about that in years. But I remember that game. I remember when they came up here because I was like 15, or 14. I was young.
That feels about right.
And I remember hearing all about this Miami Central. There was like the whole team. Half of them got drafted, and the rest of them went and started in college baseball.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I've never had anything like that that I can remember. At least I've never been a part of any day where I walked up to the ballpark thinking, just maybe I got lucky. I don't know, man, but yeah, y'all got your rear ends kicked that
Jamie,
day.
it was just the way that they were taking infield. I never seen infield taken like that before. It was so crisp. it was crisp and fancy at the same time. I couldn't believe it.
I remember it. They were because y'all were good. I mean,
we were pretty good, but not like that.
Y'all were good. But they were like laying double plays, like backhand flips, and they were barehanding it and throwing it to first, and their bunt when they were covering bunts when they were taking infield, when they were covering bunts and stuff like that, the third baseman would, very, very casually gallop about 30 feet and 4 steps, barehanded and toss it. I was like, oh my God, they're going to get their, what's kicked. It's like they took BP. I remember watching that team take BP in the cages.
Yeah.
And everything they hit was just a missile. Yeah. I mean, it just sounded different. And that was back in the days of the big barrel. Like, I don't even think they had enacted the drop 3 rule yet. You could use whatever size bat you wanted.
Yeah, we were still -5 and 6, I believe. We was swinging them.
The problem that you bring up is what Preston and what both of y'all just said, because that's what I was referring to. For me, it was when we were in the state championship game. We're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
We felt kind of like what Manti Te'o said. They're in the national championship game. And then you look across and you're like, oh, them boys are different. We're good, but they're different. And again, my moment there was 99 in the state championship game against Lower Richland, where we felt really good about ourselves until Rowe and Todd Williams, 6'9", 6'7", come jogging out. Robert Dukins, who played at USC Aiken, he was about 6'3", 6'4", was a heck of a two-guard. Ed Scott's going to Clemson, and yeah. And then they had Ivan Howe, who was 6'7" as well. And you're looking back at them doing warm-ups and looking at us going, something's not the same here. There's a difference. So that's the difference. Yeah. When you're a good team, when you've done that to a few other teams, but then you see someone about to do that to you, that's where the feeling is a little like, oh, wait a minute now. This is not – I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens.
Well, I don't think y'all didn't pitch Steven Jackson in that game, did you?
No, we were smart enough not to do that. We was
all of a sudden he was sick in the bullpen. Coach.
We used to call Steven was so good we called him Ink for Incorporated. We was like, Ink, you're gonna stay over here. not today. I mean, he could have held his own. The rest of us, we were just regular high school varsity baseball players. These dudes are going to the league. Anyway, enough of that. Thankfully, that never happened when I was playing in college. And that was probably my one experience with that format. Jamie, big scrimmage this weekend. Hearing things, buzz. We got a lot to talk about from the weekend that happened. What you got for us?
Yeah. I was lucky enough to pick up some intel, basically, I guess during and kind of after the scrimmage on Saturday, and I think it just the identity of this football team, and hopefully this program, if you ask me, but this football team in 2024 continues to circle around how well the defense plays. And I just think that, they're going to go about as far as the defense is going to take them. And, offensively, I know it's still kind of a work in progress. Like, I think when people hear that means like, oh my gosh, we're going to be terrible. That's not what that means. It just means that they're just not polished. And I don't know, like I wouldn't expect them to be polished offensively right now. So I think the defense is going to be the storyline. And when you go to Lexington and you come home and you host LSU, you're going to, if you beat those teams, it's going to be because of what happens on that side of the football.
Well, I've been pretty vocal on our show, and I think just been talking around town is that I expect to hear the defense being ahead of the offense for the whole preseason camp. In fact, that's all I want to hear because, as you just stated, it feels as if the success of the team is going to be hinged upon how well the defense plays, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's two sides of that coin, and you'd be able to explain it much better than I would. But there's one side is saying, well, the defense is ahead of the offense for the football reasons, right? What you can explain all that. I'm not going to take up all of our time explaining all that, but just simply for the football reasons. The other side is they're better because they're more talented and they're just better. And I think that's where South Carolina is right now. Like, they have a talented defense, they have a deep defense, and then defensively you always hope, like you said, that you're ahead. And I think all those things right now are true.
803-404-6100. We'll get more into that as we kind of go through the hours. You kind of mentioned, Preston and I have talked about the defense, obviously the offense, and some of the things that I heard or was told from the weekend. I'll kind of share that with you, and we'll kind of bounce that off of each other. Because, look, I don't – Preston, real quick, you go back to scrimmages, stuff that you just saw, and coverage was different back then for all of us. There wasn't Twitter. The message boards weren't like they are now. Coverage was entirely different, again, when it came down to scrimmage. Do you remember, just off the top of your head, how many scrimmages y'all had in your preseasons? Typically, was it 2? Was it 3?
Probably 2 to 3. I don't remember specifically, but this seems about right.
Was there ever a scrimmage with somebody who stood out and you're like, oh, that guy, like you've mentioned Sidney Rice was a guy y'all knew you were about to unleash on the world, and then all of a sudden breaks his hand against Georgia. But was there someone in a scrimmage that if you could fast forward from, let's just say, that period to today, people would be all over the internet message boards going like, oh, this guy in the scrimmage, whoa. Sources, anonymous sources, insiders are saying that this guy's standing out.
Gonzie Gray.
Really?
Gonzi would always have really good scrimmages, and then sometimes he wouldn't be able to put it together, or he would just kind of be stuck. Maybe Gonzi would be equal to the way they're talking about Matthew Fuller now, whereas he might just be stuck a little bit behind on the depth chart. But Gonzi was very good. He just never could get as many carries just because maybe the people in front of him were a little bit better, honestly. Right. But he was a solid running back. Honestly, for the time, Gonzi probably would have hit the portal because he was really good. He just could never get ahead of those guys that he was on the depth chart. So maybe a similar comparison the way they're talking about Matthew Fuller now.
803-404-6100. We'll get more into this, and as we look, I do think there's an interesting way to handle this. The hype for the defense, which, according to the text machine here that we have, some people are not buying just yet.
That's fair.
But
that's totally fair.
I've got something to say on that here when we get back.
There you go. We're going to tee Jamie Bradford up for a nice little rant. But the hype for the defense versus the concern for the offense. We'll get into that a little bit this morning. Plus, I'll throw my 24-hour college football marathon at Jamie and Preston, see what they think. Am I just talking crazy, or would this have some legs? Would you be of interest? You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, and it's Monday, which means Jamie Bradford. It is the early game.
Preston here for our friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. If it's a cracked windshield, that's no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with your insurance company to take away the headache. Yes, they will come out to wherever you are, school, home, work. It does not matter. Absolute Glass will come out, take care of the job for you, and give you a free quote for whatever you need taken care of. Now, if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows and mirrors, Absolute Glass will take care of that for you too. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. Say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Still have a report of a slowdown, Screaming Eagle Road at Spring Creek Road. And then there is that road construction on Hardin Street, both north and southbound after Rosewood Drive, but before Divine Street. So just be aware of that if you have to navigate in that area. 90 for the high today under sunny skies, 87 tomorrow. Then really we stay in the mid-80s the remainder of the week with sunshine. So going to be beautiful. And come Friday for the golf tournament, weather's going to be perfect, 84 with a mix of clouds and sun. So make sure if you haven't registered, do so right away. Right now, 72 on the early game.
$7:16 on a Monday morning. The last weekend without college football has gone and passed us, and now, and for a while, at least, until mid-January now? I don't know if it's every weekend. I don't know my exact schedule in December and then how the playoff works, but I believe it's at least every weekend from at least now to the end of the year. We have college football on during the weekend that we can experience, watch, completely overindulge in. But that is out of the way, and we have a countdown now. Our golf tournament taking place this coming Friday. Make sure you call out to Charwood and get registered. Weather's supposed to be beautiful. Sign up your foursome. It'll be a fun day out at Charwood. 803-755-2000 is how you can register. We'll have a mimosa bar sponsored by Saki's Wine and Spirits. We'll be raffling off Gamecock football season tickets. And coming up here in about 15 minutes, after this segment, when we come back, we're going to announce our 3 finalists for our ultimate season ticket giveaway, where you 3 finalists, all 3 have got to be out at Charwood this coming Friday. We'll let you know the exact time, either 8:30 in the morning during our show or 3 o'clock during Jay's show. But we will announce the ultimate season ticket winner. But this morning, coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to let you know who the 3 finalists are. So you don't have to play in the golf tournament, by the way, to win the ultimate season ticket giveaway. But if you want to play, you want to hang out, you want to talk some college football, call today and get registered. 803-755-2000 is how you can do that. And again, coming up here in roughly about 15 minutes or a few less, we will announce the 3 finalists for our ultimate season ticket giveaway that we will announce the winner this coming Friday. 803-404-6100. So I'm watching this on our text line this morning. 803-404-6100. Nobody's buying it. Very few are buying it. There is skepticism. There is almost resentment that we are giving the defense any love.
What are we selling?
Richard weighs in, says, watch what happens. So much hype on the defense. Offense will end up being better than them during the season.
Okay.
A couple others early on as we were talking about this. Oh, Scott will probably give up 31 to ODU.
Okay.
So you get the point. People are.
I don't get the point. What else do we have?
No, I'm just saying you get the point of
I don't.
Of people not like almost being like, yeah, you guys are talking about this defense, and yet I'll wait. Either show me to make me believe.
That's fair.
Or no, I'm not going to get my hopes up from 2 weeks from now.
You are entitled to do both of those things. But what I'm saying is I'm not selling the defense. What I think, let me not speak for Jamie. What I'm saying is if this team is going to be good, it's going to be based in the defense. So with the amount of starters that they have, with the returners, and with the scheme, the path to success is through the defense, especially at the beginning of the season. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's going to work. But if there is a path to success, it will be through the defense.
Jamie?
Yes, 100% agree with that. I've been saying the same thing. And look, too, he's right. Okay, fans are obviously entitled. They don't need me to tell them that they are entitled to their opinion. Of course they are. And I am entitled to disagree with them. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes on your show or 3 hours on my show that starts at 11 today explaining, again, the depth and the talent at each position and the competition that exists that didn't exist before and yada. Nobody wants to hear all that. Most of the time, nobody really understands, and they all revert to the same thing, which is show me, again, which is fine. But here's what I always find interesting. If you tell people that blank is bad, well, the defense isn't playing well. Yep. You know what? It's probably time to move on from Beamer. They want to hear that. They want to hear that. Oh, they're bad. Here we go again. Yeah. You tell them that there's a chance it could be good. They don't, I'm not buying it. Okay, well, if you don't want to hear that it's going to be good and you don't want to hear that it's going to be bad, what do you actually want to hear? Because I had the same conversation this weekend with you know what? I'm in show me mode. Well, so are 80,000 other people next Saturday night. Everybody's in show me. So's the coaching staff. Everybody wants to see it on the field. All I'm saying is these guys are playing well. It's proven that they are a deeper football, right, guys? Nobody's going to argue with that, right? They are a deeper football team, literally across the board, but we're talking about defense, so especially on that side. They are a more talented football team, and they have to go play and prove it. All we're saying is if they're going to win games, this is the side of the ball that's going to carry them there early in the season. People take that as, well, they said that the defense is elite, and as soon as they give up like 30 points, we're all a bunch of liars. No, I mean, it's amazing how that happens. One other quick point. The SEC has a bunch of teams that score a lot of points, right? And a lot of those teams are on this schedule this year. LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama, Oklahoma, Missouri, just to name a few. I don't know exactly what A&M is going to look like. But all those teams score lots of points. So if you give up 30 points, against Ole Miss, did you have a bad day? I mean, I don't know how to answer that because we have to see what that looks like. But Ole Miss might hang 50 on Alabama. We don't know until the things all play out. So I find it baffling how people don't want to hear that you're going to be good, but then they don't want to hear that you're going to be bad. So I don't know what they want to hear. Maybe people should just stop reporting and just when they play football on August 31st, there it is. Y'all didn't want to hear anything for 3 months. So here you go. You figure it out on your own.
Look, it's interesting. I'm not of the belief that year 4 is this massive year for Shane Beamer. I do think, look, every year is big. But I do think for Clayton White, with what he has coming back, I think this is a massive year. This should be. Are you guys in agreement without even all the hype, without even hearing Nick Eamon-Worry and Debo Williams talk about historical defenses? I can't remember if a third one has said that. Do you agree that this defense should be vastly improved? Even if we weren't hearing, again, was it Debo talking about donuts and Nick Eamon-Worry talking historical? And again, I think it was Debo Williams who was the other one? Kyle Kennard, I believe, who wasn't around last year, talking historical. That's who it was. But the point being is, do we agree that just based on returners and experience, if they weren't talking about themselves, we should expect the defense to be better?
I'll answer that. Just from a roster improvement standpoint, the roster is greatly improved, and that's a fact. However if you want to look at it objectively, if you just cleared the names off and you just looked at their attributes, if we was doing college football 25, this roster, you would pick this roster over the one that you had last year. I don't know what that translates into them playing better, but from what we have to go off of, yes, there's a much improved roster.
Jamie, you with that on just what? Just on paper?
Nope. It's not even debatable. There's nothing to talk about. It is a much better football team on that side of the field, no doubt.
It'll be interesting again for me as we go through to see.
But Bill, what improves is the question. What is it like? What are the things that have hampered the defense?
Well, the easy answer to that is there has been a non-existent, especially last year, a non-existent pass rush. Obviously, the secondary struggled mightily last year, and while I'll give them credit for improving towards the end of the year, some of that also boils down to the fact that you played what was a legit running team in Jacksonville State. You played two quarterbacks in Cade Klubnik and I forget who the quarterback was for Kentucky that were what is fair to say below average quarterbacks. The month and you played Vanderbilt. The month of November did not feature offenses that terrified you. Jacksonville State was good at running the football, and they showed that. But with all that, and that might have actually been the best offense you played if you Rich Rodriguez, and that might have actually been the best offense you played. And obviously we know it took a Stone Blanton interception to preserve a victory. I'm not saying that Jacksonville State would have gone in the end zone and scored the touchdown. I know a lot of people already want to say, oh yeah, they were going to score. It was going to happen. Maybe something different besides a pick six would have changed things. But the bottom line is, you've got, to me, it really all starts with getting to the quarterback, Jamie. We talked about this, 21 sacks last year, tied for last in the league. Obviously, defensively, Dylan Stewart, the return of Gilbert Edmond, the development of guys like J.T. Gear, Brian Thomas Jr., yeah, I don't know. Elijah Davis was out again this past weekend, but has supposedly slimmed down to be more of a defensive end and not kind of a tweener type guy. They've got to have guys who can get to the quarterback. And I just go back. The two guys that always stood out, and granted, one of them was maybe the best college player to ever come through the game, and the other one was an incredible player, but Cliff Matthews and Jadeveon Clowney. And I say that because I'll never forget, there was a game, I think it was against Tennessee during the Spurrier era, where South Carolina had to have a sack, and Cliff Matthews didn't just get a sack. He got three straight possessions, 3 straight plays, snaps. He lined up, I guess, on the right side or over the left tackle. I'll never forget it, and just came off the edge and made a play. And South Carolina hasn't had a defensive end in the last several years that I think threatens people, that scares people when they have to game plan on a 3rd and long or a passing situation.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We actually talked to Ellis Johnson last Monday about both of those guys, and he mentioned Cliff Matthews. He said, if I could coach a team, just all of them are Cliff Matthews, regardless of talent, that's who I want. But for those moments right there. And I think that a lot of that has been missing. I think they've added that. I know that they've added an elite defensive end, somebody who's going to scare the bejesus out of people, in Dylan Stewart. But he's a true freshman, and you're going to have to, let him kind of play himself into those situations. But getting to the quarterback, or at least putting pressure on the quarterback, making him uncomfortable, and getting off the field on 3rd down would have changed. They would have been in the postseason last year. They would have beaten Florida, I can tell you that. So, it's and I know we got to go to break, so I'll wrap it up here. The fix, it's not as big of a gap as I think people maybe thought that it was. Now, I'm not saying that there were things that weren't, or that were just not bad. No, they weren't bad. No, there were things that were bad. There's no doubt. But the fix, especially when you have things like the transfer portal and you're able to keep that core group intact, which they were able to do, the fix is not as far away as people think that it is. I don't know if they'll be elite. Elite's a big word, especially in a big league. But I think that this football team has a chance to be really good on that side of the ball.
We'll talk more about this just because, again, there's another guy who, to me, will show a sign of development. It'll tell me a little bit more about what Sterling Lucas can do as a coach, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Also, coming up next, we will, as soon as we come back, what we will do is we will announce our ultimate season ticket giveaway. Our 3 finalists. We have 3 finalists. We'll tell you who those 3 people are when we come back. You're listening to The Early Game.
Hey, it's Jen for CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. All of the demolition that had to be done on our kitchen. We are so thrilled with how it turned out. I mean, it looks fantastic. And the process was so easy, both from picking something out to the installation process. They made it so much easier. And again, we're just thrilled. But they do more than just overhauling kitchens. They could overhaul just your pantry, give you some drawers in your pantry. Maybe that would help. Organization for a bedroom closet. Again, put in some drawers, get rid of those wire hanging racks if you don't like those. If you have a home office workspace that you need to create, they can help as well. I really do encourage you to reach out to them. CHWCabinetry.com to see what all they can do. Or call them today at 803-520-6837. And of course, be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation. And the traffic out there for your Monday morning, not terrible, but we do have a couple to let you know about. Lower Richland Boulevard at Garner's Ferry, also Longtown Road at Faro. And do keep in mind some road construction happening Hardin Street, both north and southbound. That would be after Rosewood Drive, but before Divine Street on Hardin. And beautiful forecast on the way. 90 with sunny skies today, 87 tomorrow, then the mid-80s for the remainder of the week. And that includes Friday for the golf tournament. So if you haven't signed up yet, be sure to give Charwood a call today. Right now, it's 72 on the early game.
Preston is rubbing his hands together like he's about to perform a magic act. All right, this is the ultimate season ticket giveaway. We're going to announce the 3 finalists, all right? This is the 3 finalists. You have to be at Charwood on Friday. On Friday, you've got to be at Charwood on Friday to be present for the announcement, and we'll give the 3 finalists more information on that, but you've got to be present there at Charwood on Friday, either 8:30 or 3 o'clock. We'll work with the people who are officially being announced here, but these are the 3 finalists. Our ultimate season ticket giveaway sponsored by the Men's Clinic, and what you've got going here is season tickets to all South Carolina home football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball games. And Preston, you and I talked about this. I don't know, there's a better season to have.
Might be the time.
Home ticket. Football is going to be really interesting. Men's basketball should be a blast. Women's basketball is going to be competing for another national championship. And first year with Paul Maneri, who we met last week, and that beautiful jacket he had should be a lot of fun as well. All right, let's get to the announcement here. I know I apologize. I've been keeping you waiting. Let's go. Number one of the 3 finalists. Congratulations to Katie Bostic. Katie Bostic is one of the 3 finalists. Katie, we have your phone number. We will be in touch with you and, again, work with you to let you know about Friday. But Katie Bostic, one of the 3 finalists. Finalist number 2, Johnny Holyfield. Johnny Holyfield. I will not give out your phone number, Johnny, but we have your phone number as well. You are also one of the 3 finalists. And the third and final finalist, Chip Potts. Chip Potts, you are the 3rd finalist. So the 3 finalists for the ultimate season ticket giveaway is Katie Bostic, Johnny Holyfield, and Chip Potts. And if it's the same Chip Potts that I know and that I believe, Jen, you're going to be happy. Chip Potts is a huge Cubs fan, if I just happen to know exactly who that is. So Katie Bostic, Chip Potts, and Johnny Holyfield, you are the 3 finalists. You've got an opportunity to win season tickets to all home games for football, for men's and women's basketball, and for baseball as well. So you get the 4 sports there, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and for the football season. And again, we will get in touch with all 3 of you here in just a little while, unless you're doing something extremely busy. Be looking for a random phone number to pop up on your phone, and we will coordinate to get all 3 of you. Again, Johnny Holyfield, Katie Bostic, and Chip Potts. You are the 3 finalists, and we will get you out to Charwood this coming Friday. If we can do it at 8:30 in the morning, you can come hang out with Preston and I. Maybe even talk a little bit on air. Watch Preston hit the ceremonial opening tee shot out at Charwood. But again, let me repeat that. Our 3 finalists, Katie Bostic, Johnny Holyfield, and Chip Potts, are the official 3 finalists for our ultimate season ticket giveaway. Thank you again to Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic for being the official sponsor of this. Really awesome for all of you to be the 3 finalists and have a chance to win season tickets there, Jen. And again, someone from our office will be in contact with you later today. So if you see a random phone number, it's not spam. Answer it, and we'll work with you to make sure that we find a time, either 8:30 in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon when Jay goes on, to make sure you're there to win. 803-404-6100. Again, congratulations, Katie Bostic, Johnny Holyfield, and Chip Potts. And if you know them, I don't know if there's multiple Johnny Holyfields, Katie Bostick's, or Chip Potts, but if you know them, contact them and make sure they know they are the 3 finalists this morning. Blow up their phone. Blow up their phone. Jamie, you heard me mention that. It really is, when you break this down, as we really get going with the athletic calendar for 24-25, it really, really is an exciting season to have home tickets to football and the interest that's going to be and what it looks like. Men's and women's basketball is going to be phenomenal. Last Thursday, Preston and Jen and myself had a chance to meet Paul Maneri, who just exudes a cool confidence. Preston described it just, yeah.
Jamie, I got to tell you, as soon as I met him, I shook his hand and looked him in the eye, and I'm sold. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go, man. He had just a cool confidence about him, and he talked about the team and what he came to do. I am sold. I am ready to go.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, man. I got a chance to talk to him for about an hour. I don't know, maybe definitely over a month ago. It was maybe a couple weeks after he got hired, and he's got an interesting crossover of old school and a little bit of new school, but like he's got that it factor that I always enjoyed, at least in baseball, where you're going to hold me accountable, and if I played, I knew that I was playing honestly because I had earned it, and if I didn't play, well, that was on me too.
Right.
And I just got that sense about him. I know Monty was him, and I've, some of the players that we've had a chance to talk to, they've been pretty impressed, and one of them so impressed that, I guess I'll leave that to him. But the baseball team's probably going to be a little bit better than people expect if we get some news here pretty soon from a familiar face. So I think they're headed on the right track. There's no doubt.
It is, obviously, we've got plenty of time to get into breaking it down. We'll kind of wrap this up and then certainly talk about wrap everything up with some football discussion. But real quick, meeting with him, the one thing that I take away from listening to him talk, Jamie, the fundamentals, and Preston, you've talked about just the simple fundamentals of baseball, especially with this staff, but with Paul Maneri in charge. They will not go unnoticed. This is not going to be a program that has base running errors, that doesn't field fly balls properly, that maybe has some of the wild pitches we see. It just feels like one thing you can count on, this will be a fundamentally sound program.
It will be. Yeah, they'll when they step on the field, they'll do things the right way, and they won't beat themselves. And that's just so important in the SEC. It's hard enough to beat the teams in the league. You beat yourself, and you get a real problem. So they're not going to do that. And they'll bring a lot of energy to that ballpark too. The way that they play, it'll remind you a lot of those teams that played under Coach Tanner. Just their grit and how hard they get after it out there on the field. It's going to feel like a return to glory, I think, around here, and they're going to win a lot of baseball games.
Yeah, again, and we look forward to we told Paul Maneri, and he seemed to, we said, we'll get you on the program, but we're not asking you about your starting pitching. We're not asking you about, I said, we're cutting up with you. You got press conferences to talk about your rotation and philosophies. We want to know what you grill, what being a grandfather is like. We have the important questions, right, Preston?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, his stories are phenomenal, man. Get him telling a story and just, sit back and let him go. It's awesome. He's awesome.
803-404-6100. Again, congratulations to Katie Bostick, Chip Potts, Johnny Holyfield. We'll be working to get in touch with y'all as it pertains to our ultimate season ticket giveaway, and we will have the final winner. The official winner will be announced out at Charwood on Friday at our 107.5 The Game Summer Golf Classic. We'll come back. We'll wrap it all up here as the countdown is on next week when we do this with Jamie Bradford. Oh, Daddy, it's game week. So we'll talk about the final things we expect to hear and see this week with Shane Beamer. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. It's a Monday. That means Jamie Bradford, Jen Jensen holding the whole thing down by herself. It's the early game. Bill Gunner for the Ecton Law Firm, where the Ecton Law Firm, John Ecton and his team are ready to help you. If you've received a nasty notice from the IRS, if your personal or business taxes are being questioned and you're having stress that's keeping you up at night, it's time for you to call John Ecton and his team. With proven local solutions, they know how to navigate the IRS maze and make sure they get all your issues taken care of. And here's the best part. It all starts with a free consultation. So give them a phone call, 803-771-9800. Again, that's 803-771-9800. Whether you're here in Columbia, Florence, or Myrtle Beach, the Ecton Law Firm has you taken care of. They want to make sure they offer proven local solutions that lead to your IRS worries going away. So again, call the Ecton Law Firm today, 803-771-9800. Line up that free consultation and tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing. For nearly 30 years, Larry Leitner and the team, they have been the leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry, and it's that proven history right there. 30 years of doing it, taking care of folks just like you and me. That is your assurance that Mid-State Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in both a safe and pleasing manner to your operation. So whether it's a high-rise or a hospital, manufacturing or industrial, Mid-State Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. They do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call them right now, 7:48 a.m., and you'll speak with an on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee. So while you might not think about your roof 24 hours a day, Mid-State Roofing does, and they're ready to help you. So if you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek. Give them a phone call, 803-356-1919. Next week, next week we will be actually talking more, breaking down more Old Dominion, Jamie Bradford and Preston Thorne. It'll be game week. We'll be analyzing the point spread, 21 right now. We'll be analyzing everything from starting quarterbacks. And let me play this, Jen. I tell you what, because I thought this was interesting over the weekend. This is Shane Beamer after the scrimmage. When will quarterback one be announced? I thought we knew this already, but I guess because of competition, when will QB1 be announced? This is Shane Beamer Saturday afternoon.
I'm wait a couple days. We'll get in here. Once I leave you guys, I'll go back across the street and watch the tape of everything tonight. I thought both those guys, including Davis Bevel, he did some good stuff today for us and came in and made some nice throws and did some good things. Robbie and Lenoris took the bulk of the reps with the first couple groups and thought they both flashed and did some good things in the run game and the pass game. Particularly, we're not running the quarterback in scrimmage, but some scramble situations where they broke out of there. Thought they showed what a weapon they can be when things do break down. We'll look at the tape and then get into next week and kind of see where we are. But I do know we have, more than one quarterback that we can win football games with.
Are we buying this? I mean, is there I shouldn't say any chance, because there's always a chance. I still remember Steve Spurrier pulling the old, Connor Shaw is going to start the East Carolina game when everybody was like, I'll never forget my good buddy, Kevin McCreary, who I used to do a radio show. Okay, Mac, if you see him out there, I think I'm either allowed to hit him on the head with a driver or he has to kiss a pig. And I'm serious about that.
Okay.
He, back in the day, said Steve Spurrier would never announce Connor Shaw over Steven Garcia for that East Carolina game. And lo and behold, he did. But, are we buying this at all? Is there a quarterback competition, Jamie Bradford?
But it's he's doing what coaches need to do. You got to keep the level of competition as high as you can, and then you go from there. That's what good coaches do, and I think that the staff has continued to want to keep the pressure on everybody to try to make them the best version of themselves they can be.
Preston?
Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine it seems like from the outside that it's pretty much done. I would wonder what the situation is on the inside, like who thinks what, or who benefits from there being that consistent pushman. Is he trying to encourage Robbie to continue to keep on? Is he trying to encourage Lenoris to hold his position? There are all types of coaching dynamics that could be happening. I'm not privy to that information.
No offense to Robbie. This is not against Robbie Ashford, okay, what I'm going to say, but I think you two will agree. If indeed, in some way, shape, or form, Robbie Ashford is announced to the starter and does not lead them to 3 consecutive scoring drives, oh boy, there will be people waiting for Shane Beamer at that tunnel.
Maybe Shane could be like, look what I got up my sleeve.
Yeah.
It throws the Norris on the field.
Yeah. I saw this over the weekend and was like, I thought we already did this. I get it. I guess there's a difference. You announce the starter coming out of spring. The starter still has to work and show the work ethic during the summer. They don't just go and hang out and play PlayStation all summer and go relax on the lake. Now, we know, at least what we think we hear from Lenore Sellers, is he's not the kind of guy that would do that. I'm with you. 2 weeks in, I'm assuming, though, that was for public consumption, and inside that locker room, Jamie Bradford, they know who the starter is. You with that?
Yep. I think that they actually have a good idea of who a lot of starters are. We'll find all that stuff out later on this week or early next week. I do think the offensive line is probably there'll probably be a name that surprises some people. Because if I had to guess today, probably two names that surprise some people. If I had to put my money on it today, left to right, I would say it's Thompson, Bell, Lee, Simpkins, Henry up front, at least in game one.
Yeah,
that would have been my money early last week, and it's still my money today.
Yeah, talking with people over the weekend, I tell you what, because he's an offensive lineman, Preston and Jamie, Josiah Thompson's not going to get that quarterback hype that Lenora Sellers got last year, because nobody wants to watch a 6'7", 300-pound big ugly in there swapping hands with a defensive lineman and doing all that. The word that I'm getting is it's just Josiah Thompson just needs to play a few games, and that it's going to click, and he's a 3-year starter at left tackle. Like that. Again, it's offensive line. People don't get the hype of an offensive lineman like they do a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, even a safety or something. I'm with you on that. Jamie, Final thoughts on this week before we let you out about 10 seconds.
Yeah. A lot of hype will kind of start trickling out. You got shows coming up this week, and next week we'll be talking about the game. So can't wait. It's almost here, boys.
We'll break it all down. I always appreciate your time. Look forward to catching up next week.
Appreciate you, Jamie.
Thank you, guys. See you.
We're thrilled away. Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. Right now, let me tell you, the weather's still feeling actually kind of fantastic. Maybe that heating and air unit right now, especially the air conditioner part, not so much of a need, but oh boy, it's still going to be there. Let's be honest, there's months, there's going to be days in August, days in September where you're going to want that air conditioner working properly, and that's why I recommend AAA Heating and Air, because right now, there is no better deal in the business. You can purchase a brand new heating and air unit on right now, and you will not have, in August, let me be clear about this, you can purchase a brand new heating and air unit right now. You will have no interest and no payments until August of 2025, a full year. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Again, it's 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you, and when you purchase a brand new heating and air unit today, you will have no interest, no payments until August of 2025. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500.
Gotten a little bit busier out there this morning. Lower Richland Boulevard at Garner's Ferry Road, also Longtown at Faro, and I-26 eastbound between I-77 and Highway 176. So basically between exits 116 and 119 on I-26 eastbound, we do have a report of an accident there, and still a little bit of a road closure, Hardin Street, both north and southbound after Rosewood Drive, but before Divine Street. They're working on some repairs there. And the forecast, absolutely gorgeous. 90 for today, 87 tomorrow, and the rest of the week, mid-80s, sunshine most of the week, including on Friday for the golf tournament. 72 right now.
8 a.m. Get up, get going. Monday, August the 19th. I'm looking for, new things to say. All right, final week before we start counting down game days. We're there. This week's we got Georgia Tech and Florida State this week in week 0. Yeah. Are you even... You seem so passive about this, whereas I'm over here I'm like a happy puppy dog.
I've stated on the record, man, my season doesn't start until the Gamecocks line up. So anything before that is what it might as well be considered preseason NFL football to me. It does not really matter.
Are you serious? Florida State, Georgia Tech doesn't excite you at noon on Saturday?
Nah. Well,
Montana State and New Mexico at 4?
Nah.
FS1 for those of you
interested. I'll breeze
interested.
by it. I won't sit down and watch it. Nah.
Gambling degenerates that want to check out Montana State, New Mexico. By the way, Montana State a 9.5-point favorite in that game, if you're wondering. SMU, Nevada, new ACC program. SMU makes a trip out to Mackey Stadium in Reno, 8 o'clock, where SMU's now a 27.5-point favorite.
27.5?
It's a line's growing.
Nah. Nope.
Delaware, Hawaii at midnight? Delaware State. I should not disrespect.
The Flying Hens, I believe they are?
No, there appears to be a wasp or something here. Hornets. The Hornets. That was close. Wasps, Hornets. Not real sure what the difference is. But, yeah, Delaware State out of the MEAC traveling out to Hawaii for a midnight game coming up on Saturday. No television listed for it, by the way, if you were planning to do a midnight thing.
No, that's not for me.
Not for you. Okay.
No.
All right. So let me ask you this. Because this is where I'm a dork. This is where I'm goofy. This is where I just, like you said, I enjoy having college football on. Mm-hmm. I enjoy meaningful college football. All right. So long time ago, I don't even know if it was that long ago, and I'm really surprised they did away with it. And I don't know why I don't know if it was logistics or financial or what. ESPN would do the 24-hour hoops marathon. It was kind of their way of starting the season, and it would always conclude with the Champions Classic, which is Duke, Kansas, Michigan State, and Kentucky, I believe. And they would always do that, and it would be a nice build-up. That would be the final games of the system, of the little marathon that they would do. The starter to the college basketball season. South Carolina played Baylor, I know in Columbia one year because it was like an afternoon, like a 2 o'clock game. I've always wondered why they don't do something similar for football. Have college basketball on. Or like they did for basketball. Football, I think, would draw more attention. So I'm going to give you, and tell me if any of this interests you.
Okay.
Just interest you, and feel free to move teams around. This is more about the time zones to make everything work. Feel free. And would you think your program would be interested in doing something like this for the exposure? Now, I know certain programs, Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, they don't need to do anything like this for exposure. But if you had a 24-hour,
let's say I'm building a dynasty in college football 25. You want to take the Toledo Mud Hens to.
There you go. Oh, yeah, I don't think I didn't have Toledo on here, but yeah. Mm-hmm. So all right. So this is my recommendation. I would love to see this. Again, I was trying to be cognizant of what teams would actually do this, time zones and everything. So, and this would be Friday through Saturday, almost through Sunday is the way I did it. Friday through Sunday, your opening weekend kickoff. So I wrote this down. Follow me for a second. Indulge me if you will. Friday, you get going. The college football season has officially started. Play with the teams, but we're doing something in the Mountain Time Zone, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So you get this started 9 p.m., San Jose State at Arizona.
Okay.
Doesn't really, I get it. So, but again, if you can find a brand name team to go play Arizona and you can make it former Pac-12 opponents, UCLA and Arizona, cool, make it happen. So that is 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain West Time. So plenty of time for everybody who's happy. All right. Now I put about 4.5 hours in between games, Preston. Jen, if you're listening, but I put about 4.5 hours in between games. That gives you about a 3.5-hour game and then about an hour studio show to wrap it up. So then the most logical thing is the 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 Pacific Time, 7:30 Hawaii Standard Time. Mm-hmm. Also, by the way, this little thing yesterday helped me with the different time zones and the breakdowns of them. Washington State at Hawaii.
Okay.
That one, at least you get to. Normally, that's Washington State, Hawaii just makes me think of 67-60. 17 turnovers, a whole bunch of touchdowns.
Timmy Chang, is Timmy Chang the coach, I believe? I believe he's out there.
So you play that at 1:30 in the morning. It would be 7:30 Hawaii time. Hawaii, again, playing a midnight game this week against Delaware State. So here, this takes me to 6 a.m. now. You play that game, 6 a.m. Saturday morning. I think you try to involve everybody. You try to involve everybody in this. Now, let's be honest. How many teams want to play a 6 a.m. game? I got it, right? I get it. 6 a.m., but I bet there's not FCS, a Division II that would be like, yeah, we'd love the exposure. 6 a.m., that's a neat time. Like, it's a different time. How about this? Valdosta State at Benedict.
Okay. All right.
Again, a little exposure for the D2.
All right.
D2s get a little exposure. 6 a.m. You have, look, they're not losing a whole lot of ticket sales on that one. And maybe people would be like, yeah, this is really cool.
Well, people might show up. Okay.
That brings us to the 10:30 game that morning. Now we're going to highlight a little bit of FCS. Youngstown State at Richmond.
The Penguins.
Yep. The Spiders get a little FCS.
Penguins versus Spiders. Okay.
Yeah. That's, again, now you go to the afternoon, 3 o'clock game. Again, you can play with times differently. ACC needs a little exposure. They're lacking. They're arguing.
On the CW?
Well, ESPN, but Georgia Tech and Syracuse.
New coach at Syracuse. Georgia Tech's bringing in some offensive linemen. All right, let's make it work.
3 o'clock. That's your 3 o'clock game. Your primetime 7 o'clock game, 7:30 game. Again, play around with it. Throw different teams out there. I just went with, hey, how about a former Big 12 matchup? How about throw a little Mullet in there? How about throw some Marcus Satterfield in there and Matt Rule? Nebraska versus Oklahoma State, and then do a neutral site game. We've seen this, Miami versus Florida. This was a couple years ago, but Nebraska, Oklahoma State, Kansas City, Arrowhead Stadium.
Give me Gundy by 50.
It's fine. But there's your kind of prime time game. And then that takes us to the late night Saturday night game. You got pizza all over yourself. You're covered in soda. You're a complete mess. Cheetos are all over you. Nevada at Oregon State, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Time. And there's your 24-hour college football kickoff. I know none of those games are ones that you're like, that's must-see TV. Maybe you can convince a big-name team to highlight it. Maybe you get two. Maybe it's so popular. Would you have any interest in that as opposed to what we get this weekend?
I would have more interest in that because it'd be something that is ongoing, and it have to be something that is a thing on a network. I would have more interest in that than opposed to showing up for a spot here or a spot there. So, yes, I would have more interest in that.
See, a couple of y'all are weighing in and said, doesn't work. The 6 a.m. Eastern Time game should be in Ireland like Notre Dame does. And I thought about that, and that does make for an interesting discussion. But also, again, there were times, if some of y'all remember, there was like 4 a.m. college basketball games back in the 24-hour hoops marathon. And again, I think you're talking about in this exposure, and that's why, look, no Power 4 group, really nobody in FBS is going to do that. Nobody, who knows, maybe as you just said, maybe Toledo's like, throw us in. I highly doubt it, but I do feel like a Division II team that never gets on ESPN, look, we see them showcasing these high school games. Maybe that's a little selling point for them where they're like, yeah, I'll do a 6 a.m. game. That would be neat. You could market it football in pajamas. I know a lot of you would think in kegs and eggs or eggs and kegs or whatever. But you get the point. Like, would a D2 team have any interest in it? I think I'd find that kind of fascinating.
Are they cutting the check? We're here. That'd be the bottom line. If somebody's cutting the check, they'll be there for that for sure. And if it's part of this extravaganza where they can get people on there and they can get maybe a yearly thing, we play the 6 a.m. game every year. That's our thing. It might be able to become something.
I'm just at 24 hours, a little more than 24 hours of college football, because Text weighs in and says, is this what we were talking about 12 days before kickoff, 6 a.m. football? Yes. Yes, it is, Texter. Yes, it is, because that's how much I need football and how excited I am for Florida State and Georgia Tech this weekend.
Okay. All right.
I will be tuned in. 9 a.m., I'll be ready for game day. Be ready to see Lee Corso put on a Florida State, whatever he puts. I don't know. I have no idea what he uses for that mascot. I guess it's not a mascot head, but whatever he does, yep, I'll be all in. If they even take him to Ireland, probably makes sense that they won't.
Right.
But the bottom line is, yeah, I think that's exactly what you would end up getting.
Okay.
And I disagree. Steve, Yeah, judging by most of Steve's text messages, not a huge football fan, but he says nobody watching a D2 game at 4 a.m. Well, number one, it'd be 6 a.m. But two, you say that. There's a lot of people with insomnia that get up and like, hey, little football. There's people that watch those high school games.
Well, I mean,
I made an effort this week to watch. I forget what Georgia. It was Julian Lewis, the top quarterback in the 2026 class that was playing a high school game, and I stopped for a few minutes on Friday night and questioned my life decisions. But I was watching some of that.
Yeah, I mean, high school's football is something you best watched in person with a team that you have a vested interest in. Otherwise, it's kind of like Little League baseball. It's like, I don't think I really want to watch this on TV. You know what I'm saying? But it's fine enough because they have spots that they need to fill, and they put them on there. The advertisers pay money, and people watch it.
I'm not saying it would be a massive ratings draw. Mind you, 6 a.m. I don't know what ESPN has that goes on at 6 a.m. But if you're putting cornhole on, if you're putting dodgeball on, let me tell you, a little D2 football, somebody's going to get up and be fixing breakfast. Or if you've ever had to deal, Preston, you remember when your daughter was very little and you're up at 6 a.m. trying to feed or burp or whatever, and you're just watching whatever's on television.
Correct.
Trust me, there will be a line of that. 803-404-6100. Let me get to some of these text messages real quick because it covers a couple things we've been talking about. Richard weighs in and says, Bill, you need some football bad if you're talking about 6 a.m. football. I'm kind of in the mood. Will weighing in on the Robbie Ashford, Lenora Sellers. Do we have a starting quarterback discussion? Will said Ashford said in his interview he was the backup.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Shane is doing with this. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, I think everybody is pretty clear on what the pecking order is.
Scott said if it is not Sellers on the 31st, y'all will have an easy show come September 3rd.
That'll be a surprise.
Jim weighs in on our discussion about hype for the defense. He said, you're missing the point. It's that we've been told for many years this team has talent either on offense or defense. We keep getting told talent, and in the past years there have been absolute failure. It's kind of like we've been told the same thing for a while. Now we just want it to be proven to us. We don't put our mindset into this situation, sort of caused by the actions of the teams in years prior.
Fair.
That's a sad way of living, though.
I mean,
it's football. Buy all in.
I mean, you can
buy all in.
You can buy in every year if you would like, or you can listen to the coaches. I will say this roster is better than the one last year.
Also, did you just hear what I just did? The transformation from January, where I was like, show me, and now on August the 19th, I'm like, why not? What have you got to lose?
They're going to play soon enough.
As Gamecock Larry says, believe until there's a loss.
Right.
Then you can predict 0-12. 803-404-6100. We'll get into some thorns, buds, and roses coming up. And Preston will have his, and I might even have a few thorns of myself. No real roses or buds, but I've got a few thorns to pick with a certain NFL quarterback who thinks he's fancy and throws a bunch of passes that are abnormal. I'll tell you about that as well. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game. Bill Gunner for Corley Pool Solutions. We are still working through the back half of the summer. That doesn't mean that you stop using your pool right now. In fact, with kids back in school, with you dealing with the weekly routine, your backyard pool may be more important than ever. And that's why you do not need to stop your routine maintenance. It's time for you to call Tracy Corley and Corley Pool Solutions. 803-445-8109. They believe in providing the absolute highest quality swimming pool service service at the most affordable price to you and your family, and that means flat rate pricing, including all of the chemicals. You know exactly what you're paying for. It's more affordable for you to contact Corley Pool Solutions, who has over 20 years of experience in the pool maintaining industry, than it is for you to try and maintain the pool yourself. Line up your pool maintenance today. Trust me, you want to get that algae out. You want that pool to look sparkling. 803-445-8109. Contact Corley Pool Solutions today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
I-20 eastbound at Bush River Road, a report of an accident there. Also find one I-20 westbound just before Monticello Road. That would be exit 68. I-26 eastbound between exits 116 and 119, a report of an accident. Lower Richland Boulevard at Gardner's Ferry Road, getting that cleaned up, as well as Longtown Road at Faro. And Highway 321 near I-20, also a report of an accident. A little bit of a road closure, Hardin Street, both north and southbound after Rosewood Drive, but before Divine Street. And forecast looking good. Looking for a high today of about 90.
Reminder, get signed up for our 107.5 The Game Summer Golf Classic this coming Friday out at Charwood Golf Club. We'll have a mimosa bar sponsored by Saki's Wine and Spirits. We'll have breakfast. We should have lunch sponsored by Firehouse Subs. We'll have some great giveaways as well, the South Carolina football season tickets, and we'll also be announcing our winner to the Ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway. We announced the 3 finalists just about an hour ago. Congratulations to Katie Bostic, to Chip Potts, and to Johnny Holyfield for being our 3 finalists in our Ultimate season ticket giveaway. If you know them today, might be a good time to be texting them. They haven't officially won yet, but might be a good time to be texting, checking your friendship relation status, because the 3 of those will have a drawing this coming Friday at Charwood for home tickets to all football games, men's and women's basketball games, and baseball tickets as well. So you might want to just kind of check on your friendship status there. If you're good friends with them and that particular person wins, Katie Bostic, Chip Potts, or Johnny Holyfield, you might want to hit them up for, hey, you got extra tickets for a game or two? Always check in on your friends when they look like they're about to succeed.
Yeah, you just send them a what's up text. You don't ask them for the tickets on the first text. You gotta warm.
How's the family?
Yeah, you gotta warm the relationship back up.
There you go. So, but get signed up. 107.5 The Game Summer Golf Classic. Weather expected to be beautiful. Come on out, hang out with Preston and I first thing in the morning, and enjoy just being around Rock and Daniel Lucas and Charwood as well. 803-755-2000 is how you can register. Again, early on in the morning, we'll have breakfast provided. We'll have a mimosa bar sponsored by Saki's Wine and Spirits. We'll have lunch provided by Firehouse Subs. So a lot going on this coming Friday out at Charwood. 803-404-6100. It was a busy weekend. A lot of NFL football, but Preston Thorne wants to break down the entire weekend. It's Thorns, Buds, and Roses.
It's about that time of year we start having these conversations about scrimmages, and then scrimmages lead the conversation about depth charts, and depth charts lead to position battles, and position battles inevitably lead to the biggest position battle, which is the quarterback position.
Yes.
Quarterbacks, I'm going to say it once, I'll say it repeatedly throughout the season. You are not real football players. So please do not get on your high horse when I see a highlight of Jared Stidham lowering his little weak, puny shoulder that'll probably have an AC joint broke here in a week or two, trying to score a touchdown. And then he had the nerve to celebrate it. Quarterbacks should not be able to run. They should wear yellow jerseys during the real game. Let's just put flags on them, because you can't hit them low, you can't hit them high, you can't hit them hard, you can't land on them, you can't pull them down by their back. Can you even breathe on these dudes? Quarterbacks, know your role, shut your mouth, and throw the ball.
Oh, wow.
And you know
Very
what?
aggressive.
Don't throw the ball behind your back either, because what are you doing? I can't hit you, but you get a chance to showboat by throwing the little ball behind your back. Hey, how about this? Let me pick you up and slam you and see if I don't get fined and or cut from my team for doing damage to you in a preseason game. Quarterbacks, don't like them. Buds, is there a quarterback competition at South Carolina? I don't know. Shane keeps saying there is. Every time we keep saying that it's Lenora Sellers, he keeps trying to say, hey, what about Robbie? And he pulled a new one this weekend. Pulled out Davis Bevel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Said, watch out for Davis Bevel. I don't know whether this is a budding competition or if we just need to tell Shane it's time to nip this in the bud and just name a starter. I think we already know what's going on here, but it seems to be happening a little bit longer than I anticipated it. So, a bud on the quarterback competition at the University of South Carolina. Rose, for everything that I just said, all the trash that I talked, I know I said you weren't real quarterback, you weren't real football players. I need one rose for QB1.
Oh?
The most important player on the team.
Oh boy.
If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a team.
Okay.
There are several teams around the nation, around the NFL, right now who are coming out of that second scrimmage and saying, we're not going to be very good.
Oh, no.
Because we don't have QB1. Fortunately, I think South Carolina does have QB1 in the guy once he is named. But for as much trash as I talk, For as much as I say you probably need to be wearing a yellow jersey, for as much as I say you're not a real football player, no team ever, especially in today's modern-day football, can win without the quarterback. So 1 rose for the quarterback because you, sir, make the engine go. Bill, those are our thorns, buds, and roses for the weekend.
Okay. You mind if I step on your toes and do my own version?
You got it.
All right, I got my own version because I was some good stuff from the weekend. Thorns. That's it. I've had it enough, Patrick Mahomes. Just get out of here. Patrick Mahomes was cute and cuddly. The family was neat. The voice was, the behind-the-back pass was the final straw. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough of the Chiefs. I've had enough of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Patrick Mahomes throwing behind-the-back pass. Throw a pass. Just throw a pass like a regular quarterback. I've had enough.
Mm-hmm.
I am now anti-Chiefs. I am anti-Cheeseburger Reed. I've had enough of Mahomes. That was the final. It's an exhibition game. Do it in the Super Bowl when it matters if you want to really catch my attention.
Ooh, okay.
I've had enough.
I like it. I like where you're going.
I've had enough of the Chiefs. I've had enough of Patrick Mahomes. I hope they go 0-17. They won't. They'll probably win another darn Super Bowl, but I've had an absolute enough of Pat. And then it got played over and over and over and over. And Travis Kelce's like, I was behind on the play. And Mahomes is so great. I've had enough. I don't want to see any more commercials. I've had enough.
Did you see them practicing the behind-the-back play?
Yeah. I'm sick of this. I've had enough. I'm that guy. I'm the Grinch. I'm the Grinch in August. I've had enough. That's my thorn. Buds. Look, I'm going to stand up for one of our guys here that we have on the program. Keep an eye on this. It's a bud, all right? Gamecock men's soccer just completed another shutout over the weekend. Another shutout. They have knocked off NC State. They have knocked off College of Charleston. And over the weekend, they shut out Mercer. All scrimmages. They play Thursday night. They play Thursday night against Winthrop, the Graveyard. Tony Annan, off air, told us he likes this team. He feels like he's got a good team. Say what you want. They were exhibitions. 3 clean sheets, as they call it. Solid weekend for a solid exhibition season. Now, prove it to us in the regular season, but kudos to Tony Annan's soccer team right now. Is something building? Do we have something growing here?
B for building. I like it.
I like this. Roses. Speaking of soccer, how about this? You want a debut? You want a freshman debut? Last night, freshman Katie Shea Collins for Shelley Smith's program. South Carolina last night hammered Furman, by the way, 5-1. Did it in front of a record crowd. Roses to you crowd for showing up on a Sunday night. South Carolina Furman. Rookie, it's called rookie, but freshman Katie Shea Collins, 3 goals in 30 minutes. Had the old hat trick for Shelley Smith's club. Excellent work. Freshman Katie Shea Collins, 3 goals, 30 minutes last night. Shelley Smith's team ranked in the top 25 this year. 5-1 victory last night over Furman. They're now 1-0 on the season for them. Great start for Shelley Smith's team. Again, Buds, shout out to Tony Annan's team. 3, as they call it, clean sheets in the business. Awesome work there. Now they've got to go into the regular season. It's going to be a difficult season in the Sun Belt, but hadn't done that. They hadn't done that in the first few seasons of Tony Annan. There's my own little personal thorns, buds, and roses. Get Patrick Mahomes out of here. Do we have something developing with Gamecock men's soccer? And roses to Katie Shea Collins for an incredible performance last night.
Jen, can you play clip 23, please?
I hate this.
Mahomes keeps it, goes behind the back. Kelsey's got it for the first down.
Let's get out.
We're building on first down.
Well, they talked about it in practice this week, and
you don't even practice. You shouldn't be practicing that. You shouldn't be practicing that.
In the game. Well, guess what? Here it is.
He went from cute and cuddly. This reminds me of the Warriors. To where we didn't like him. And now, in an elder state, we know we're seeing the final years of Steph Curry, and we're all appreciating it, and he's getting back. Mahomes is going through that stretch right now.
Going through the down stretch. I like it.
He's going through the down stretch. Had enough. We'll get back into a few other South Carolina football-related items, cover a few other things. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game. Bill Gunner for Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning, where that patented ZR water technology scientifically proven to keep the carpets, rugs, and tile insanely clean. It's still there. And while summer was fun, now with the kids back in school, you finally got some time to get your house back in order. That's why you need to call Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning, 803-262-4020. Let them come out with that ZR water technology and show you just how clean they can get the house looking. When you call, mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, and get a free hallway with 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $129. You can book online as well. ZeroResColumbia.com is the way to do that. Again, right now, mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, and get a free hallway with 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $129. 803-262-4020. Zero, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
It's a nice kind of sunny morning out there. Not sure what's going on, but hopefully you'll be careful out there. Several accidents to report, like I-20 eastbound at Bush River Road, I-20 westbound before Monticello Road, I-26 eastbound there at exit 102, I-26 eastbound between exits 116 and 119, Longtown Road at Faro Road, Lower Richland Boulevard at Garner's Ferry, and on I-20 westbound, just before Alpine Boulevard or Alpine Road, that would be exit 76B. The left lane is currently blocked. Looking for a high today of 90 under sunny skies and sun most of this week.
.836, as we get you up and get you going, I want to plug this because as Preston and I were sitting here, it looks like Gamecocks Plus, our good buddy Dakota Watson, who's handling that, just put this up on Game. You can go to Gamecocks Plus and check it out. Obviously, Jay Phillips and myself do the cocktail hour there as well, breaking down games and things. This week, they will have their segment up, and Preston and I were just watching the video. Preston, I don't know how you felt about it, but this will be the Steven Garcia, Pat DeMarco interview with Steve Spurrier. Okay. And I showed you the video. They're doing a Zoom with Steve Spurrier, and to watch his face when Steven Garcia says, I just want to ask you one more question. Spurrier has the annoyed look of me when my son or daughter in their single digits would go, I got one more question or something.
Yeah, Coach Spurrier forgot that he was on. He could see his face. He thought he was still on a regular phone.
If you haven't seen that, that'll come out on Wednesday this week. Make sure you check that out on Gamecocks Plus. You can check them out on Twitter at Gamecocks Plus is where you can do that. You can also go to the website, GamecocksPlus.com. We'll get some audio of that interview that we will play later on this week, but it's definitely worth it. Our good buddy who's been in studio, we'll probably have him back in the very, very near future, Pat DeMarco, because I feel like there are a few who can match your football hands like Pat DeMarco can.
Yeah, Pat can definitely, especially when we start breaking down the run game and the offensive line, he can really start getting into pulling plugs and pins and, filling gaps and all types of things that you need to hear. ISOs, all those just random run plays that he probably was a part of.
Yeah, we'll have a great lineup. Get John Strickland back in here. Pat, Perry Orth will join us. Brian Maddox. Want to get a few other of your former teammates on the line with us too as we go through the season. 803-404-6100. Now, Preston earlier went into not hitting the quarterback, and let's dive into this a little bit. But this is Shane Beamer talking about Saturday after the scrimmage. No quarterback hits, not hitting the quarterback. Here's what Shane Beamer had to say.
No. Okay. We did that in the springtime and fall camp last year, and we did it fall camp last year as well, outside of with Lenoris, but not today. We did not do that. I think Lenoris probably would wish we would, and so would Robbie, because every time I blow the whistle, they swear they didn't get tackled and things like that. And every time the defense gets near him, they swear they sacked him. So it'd be easier for me if they were getting tackled. But I try and, like in Caddyshack with Rodney Dangerfield, I try and keep it fair, keep it honest, or whatever he said that line in that movie. So.
Your playing days, when you go into a scrimmage like this, Phil Petty, a little bit more of a statue. Bennett Swigert, your good buddy, unfortunately really became a statue prior or after the injuries. Corey Jenkins, on the other hand, as you tried to chase him around, was there a rule that you were within fingertip lengths and he would go down?
No, Corey's one of those ones where you want him to have on a yellow jersey because he will put you in a yellow jersey. You don't want to play against that type of dude. He's similar to like a Cam Newton guy where it's like, oh, this guy wants to hit me. So, no, you don't want to have him.
Okay, you wanted him to have the.
Yeah, you want him to have a yellow jersey so he doesn't have to, lower his shoulder on you. But most of the quarterbacks, they don't want to get hit, and it's fine. And that's probably the proper way to approach it, as I stated. As much as I talk all the trash I want about quarterbacks, but we will not win without one. And so you have to protect them, especially if you know you got a one that's going to make a difference.
One of the questions over the weekend, and we'll discuss this, the return, if you will, Rocket Sanders. This is Shane Beamer talking about Rocket and what he did on Saturday and his impact on the run game.
Great. We like I said last week, we held him, and again going into last Saturday, he had practiced and had been fine. And in the preseason game last week, we did some 7-on-7 before the scrimmage started, and he participated in that. We just didn't put him in the actual playing part of it. Today we did. We wanted him to get tackled. That happened some in practice this week where we tackled in practice, and he got tackled a couple times. And then it happened today. I thought he looked great. He's a pro. Ran the ball hard. People don't talk enough about him in pass protection. He's really good in pass protection, and that's so critical, obviously, at the running back position. He runs good routes in the passing game. He can catch. He's just a really good overall running back. We got him some carries in there today, and I thought he showed that he's Rocket Sanders.
Is important for him, as much as he may know or much as he may be picking up the offense, Preston, to get hit a few times this preseason, to just have to take some of those for ball security?
No, you got to shake the cobwebs off and remember what it was like to get hit. You don't want the first time being in an actual game, whether that's against Old Dominion or Kentucky or whoever that is. So you want to see him, and you also want to see that he has his legs underneath him, because I don't care how much you run. I don't care how much you lift. I don't care how many drills they did in strength and conditioning. There's nothing like getting hit, getting burnt to the ground, having to get up, reset, and run another play. There's no conditioning that you can have for that. So you have to get those reps in.
One more here that we'll listen to, and this is number 7, Jen. Offensive line depth and a solid 8, and then we'll tie this back into Rocket Sanders and the running game as well. Here's Shane Beamer talking about the O-line depth.
An improved offensive line that's a year older, with the guys that played last year minus Nick Gargiulo. Everybody's back. True freshmen that played last season in Tro and Tree, who are a year older and better. The return of a true freshman that probably would have been a starter for us last year if he hadn't gotten hurt, and Marquis Anderson. And the arrival of, some pretty talented freshmen led by Josiah Thompson as well. And then the arrival of Torricelli Simpkins and Kamar Bell on the offensive line. Really like, I would say we have a solid 8 right now. I wish we had more. A solid 8 that we feel comfortable winning SEC football games with. We need more, but I like that 8, so that makes me feel better. Their improvement. I like what our tight end group is doing. That certainly helps in the run game. And then certainly when you have a quarterback that can make plays, with his feet. Was the replay of one of our games. I was watching one of our games from last year in my office yesterday, just looking back at some things from that game, and there were some plays, and I love Spencer to death, but there were some plays where Spencer scrambled and got tackled, and I'm watching it thinking to myself, well, Lenoris and Robbie probably are going to make that guy miss this year as well. So just that element when things do break down, at least in the passing game, and that quarterback, has to scramble, and hopefully it doesn't break down. We got a guy that can make some plays with his feet as well. So that gives me more confidence for sure.
I feel like that is like when you think of yourself or think of something in the past tense and you think of how great it was, but then you watch the video and like, oh, he wasn't all that fast, was he?
I mean, listen, man, if all you had to do was tune into the early game, President Thorne could have told you Spencer Rattler is not in the NFL because of his legs. We've known that. Everybody's seen that film. So we get that. So I could imagine as a coach, you're thinking like, man, if I just had somebody with something, we might be able to get a couple of extra yards out of these plays. And that seems to be what Robbie and Lenoris bring to the table.
We'll wrap this up again. We talked a little bit about Rocket Sanders, but certainly getting him back out there on Saturday, good for the offense as well. But we'll conclude everything as you listen to the Monday morning episode. It is the early game on 107.5 The Game. Bill Gunner from Mid-State Roofing, where Larry Leitner, the family there, they have been taking care of your roofing needs and been the leader in doing it for nearly 30 years. And that is their history. That is their assurance to you that they will get the work done in a timely fashion to make sure your operation stays dry and running long into the future. Now, that's important. That's incredible. But what is most important is Mid-State Roofing is there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whether you're here in Columbia, whether you're in Florence, whether you're in Myrtle Beach, whether you're listening somewhere else in this great state this morning on our 107.5 The Game app, Mid-State Roofing is there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you give them a phone call, you will either speak with an on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee. So write the phone number down and be prepared for when an issue arises. 803-356-1919. Again, that's 803-356-1919. An on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee will help you with a maintenance contract. If you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek.
Do remember this. We are playing at the Hard Rock Cafe Stadium, Miami Dolphins Stadium. And for people that don't know anything about that stadium, there's only one tunnel. So both teams come out of the tunnel. We were the #1 ranked team in the country that year, so we're the home team. We came out of our locker room first. Alabama hadn't come out of their locker room yet. So everybody stopped us at the tunnel and said, hey, you have to wait. You have to wait until Alabama comes out.
Wow.
So I'm one of the captains. I'm in front of all my guys. Alabama hasn't come out yet. My guys are hyped. They're loud. They're doing their thing, right? And when I'm in game day mode, I see things, but I don't. I'm kind of just in my own little zone. Alabama's locker room door opens and they start running out, right? And they're going out. And I do remember this very vividly. My soon-to-be teammate, DJ Fluker, and Chance Warmack come running out of the locker room with their jerseys
tucked underneath.
No, it's up. Their big bellies are out. And they have their fours up. And I remember DJ going by and saying, womp, 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 womp. And I remember vividly remembering the silence behind me. And I kind of glanced back at my teammates, and the eyes on them were so large, I knew at that time, I was like, all right, this is going to be a long day.
Oh, no.
To my guys' credit, they never flinched. But let me tell you guys, when we played the Alabama team in 2013, there was a difference. There was a difference with those Bama boys.
That is Manti Te'o on a podcast recently talking about playing Alabama in the 2013 national championship game, to which he semi-contradicts himself, if you will, by saying, we never flinched.
Oh, he's just trying to save face. The score was 42-14.
I was going to say.
They never showed up. Actually, they never had a chance to flinch because Alabama continuously punched them in the face for the majority of that particular game. But that particular clip is hilarious because I just know the feeling of showing up to a game and understanding that we do not have a shot.
By the way, that game was 28-0 at halftime.
Yeah. When did they flinch?
Right then.
Right.
When Chance Warmack was it Warmack?
As soon as he did that, it was a wrap. I wonder if he was taking that from the No Limit rapper Fiend, which that's a very deep cut. But Fiend was known for going womp womp. I don't know. It's very interesting to see.
I can. Yeah, I mean, Bama comes out, goes 5 plays, 82 yards on the opening drive. 5 plays, 82 yards, took it 257 to get down the field and score. And if there was any Notre Dame players, it sounds like they were like, no, we're 3 minutes in. We ain't got a chance. Bama, by the way, then quickly got the ball back, went 10 plays, 61 yards, and 449 to go up 14-0. At that point, most people, I think, were like, yep, ball game. Everett Golson, by the way, quarterback for Notre Dame in that game, 21 of 36 for 270.
Shout out to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, so good for him. Eddie Lacy had no problem. 20 carries, 140 yards, and a touchdown. And Amari Cooper, 6 receptions, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I remember this happening one time when I was a coach at Blythewood. We played a team to be not named from a town up the road, up 77 a little bit, where they play football really well. And I remember one of my players, I overheard them. They didn't say it to me. I overheard them talking to each other, and one of them said, dude, they got a tattoo on his neck. And when I heard them say that, I was like, oh, we're done. We're going to lose today. Dude, they got tattoos on their necks. It was over at that moment.
Tends to happen occasionally. We had some really good entries earlier from people who weighed in with when you knew you were going to lose prior to the match or game even starting, and a couple of y'all weighed in. Again, Michael weighed in. My sophomore year in high school, we played Santa Lucia High School in Latina, Florida. 13 out of the 22 starters were Division I signees. O-line average was 6'4", 285. Drew from Lugol said, my first high school football game was against Valdosta High School. They were the winningest high school football program in history, or prep ball, and we were a small 3A school. Thanks for taking my text. Love you guys. Good luck with that, Drew. Yeah, that was a rough day, too. And then again, David weighed in. My first and only year of wrestling, I had to wrestle the state runner-up in my weight class. Did not go well.
Yeah, wrestling's tough because you can't even hide. It's like, oh, man, I got to wrestle him. Oh, boy.
Norm says, is there a difference between not flinching and being a deer caught in the headlights?
Playing possum, maybe the same thing. They didn't flinch because they didn't move.
Yeah. Another one weighs in. Standing on the first tee box with Lucas Glover. Knew I was done. It's another good one. So, yeah, some good stuff there.
You just watching him swing. It's like, my swing doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
How come my ball doesn't?
That's where they swing so smooth and the ball just flies and you're like.
You hear the sound come off the club. You're like, man.
Now you get up there and you're trying to grip it and rip it, and all of a sudden your back's out of whack.
I've never heard that sound before.
You instantly are like, are we on hole 17? No, we're on 1. It was your first tee shot.
I tell you what, though, that feeling of hitting it right, it's the best, most smooth feeling. But if you don't, boy,
it depends on where you're. Like, sign up. Call Charwood 803-755-2000. Get registered for our golf tournament on Friday. Normally I play with Rock and Daniel Lucas, and Daniel's younger to me and is more flexible. And I'll hit a good shot, like you said, feel good about myself, and then watch Daniel hit usually on the first tee box, and I'm like, well, I'm not hitting any more drives today. I'm good. That one just flew over mine. He's far better than me. I'll just let him, and I'll ride in the cart and hang out with Rock or whoever.
That's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah.
But no, it just feels for your body.
Mm-hmm.
It's very smooth. It seems almost effortless when you hit it properly.
You hit it right.
I know, but then when somebody drives it 50 yards past you, you're like, that felt great. And we're not. Just pick mine up on the way. Pick it up. Congratulations again, Katie Bostic, Chip Potts, Johnny Holyfield. They were the finalists in our Ultimate Season Ticket giveaway. We'll be in touch with them later today to get them scheduled for Friday. Good start to the week.
Let's go.
JC Sherbert tomorrow. We got some other stuff lined up as well. Should be a really fun week. Y'all have a great day. Guys, I'm out there talking to you. I get it. As we get older, you can have some health issues, and you're big, you're manly, you're tough. You got to take care of the family. You don't want to talk about your health issues, whether they're at work, whether they're at play, whether they're at home, whether they're at the office. You don't feel like discussing it because you're big, you're tough, and you're mean. I got it. But at the men's clinic, they understand that these are issues that need to be dealt with, and they're in the business of restoring the prime of men. And they understand there's nothing generic about you, so why should you settle for general medical care? At the men's clinic, Clinic. They are the experts in men's health, located over in Irma off of St. Andrews Road. Call today and line up an appointment. It's a safe, easy place for you to go and be able to discuss private information and personal information, things that maybe are bothering you, but you're just too tough to talk about it. Call Dr. Dan Balknight today, 803-875-MENS. Again, it's 803-875-MENS. Get an appointment lined up. Let the Men's Clinic help you with any issues that you don't want to discuss, and tell them Bill Gunner sent you.